International media tycoon Rupert Murdoch arrives in Britain as millions buy the News of the World's final edition. 2 dead, dozens still missing after a boat sinks in Russia's Volga River. As the violence continues in Syria, the government begins a national dialogue without leading opposition figures. Hello, I'm Ros Atkins. This is BBC World News.
And I'm Adnan Nawaz. Coming up in sport today, Brazil leave it late at the Copa America. They score a last-minute goal to save themselves from defeat against Paraguay.
Media mogul Rupert Murdoch has arrived in London, hoping that the scandal that forced him to close one of the most successful and long-running newspapers doesn't spread to the rest of his business empire. The News of the World went on sale for the last time today after revelations that the paper had hacked into the phones of murder victims and their families. Here's Louise Stewart.
The media mogul Rupert Murdoch flew into London and went straight to the offices of the former News of the World. He'll now take charge of the handling of the phone hacking scandal. This was the scene last night as, led by their editor, the staff of Britain's biggest-selling newspaper walked out of work for the last time. They'd put together a special farewell edition of the paper, one they said they could be proud of. The print run was doubled to 5 million, with all proceeds going to charity. The family of Millie Dowler and other hacking victims will have meetings this week with a number of politicians, including David Cameron. They'll also meet the Labour leader Ed Miliband. He's calling for a halt to News Corporation's bid to gain full control of B-Sky B.
The idea that this organisation, which engaged in these terrible practices, should be allowed to take over B-Sky B, to get that 100% stake, without the criminal investigation having been completed, and on the basis of assurances from that self-same organisation, frankly, that just won't wash with the public.
Speaking on the Andrew Marr programme, the Energy Secretary Chris Huhne said David Cameron had taken very serious risks when he made the former editor of the News of the World, Andy Coulson, his communication chief in Number 10.
I certainly raised it with Nick, and Nick raised it with the Prime Minister, and it was very clear, and it was made very clear to us, that this was a personal appointment of the Prime Minister. It wasn't a government appointment, and therefore we didn't have any standing to object to it. But it was very clear from what I had said previously that I think, the big reputational risks were being run.
The Assistant Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, John Yates, seen here on the left, has apologised for deciding not to reopen an investigation into the phone hacking allegations 2 years ago. Meanwhile, Rupert Murdoch will now meet with senior executives at News International, including the embattled Rebecca Brooks, whom he says has his total support. Louise Stewart, BBC News.
Well, dozens of people are missing and at least 2 are dead after a boat sank in Russia. Authorities say the vessel was carrying 170 people when it went down in the Volga River in the region of Tatarstan. And we can get the latest now on this with the BBC's Steve Rosenberg, who's live with us from Moscow. What more can you tell us, Steve?